Hello everybody, this is Aaron from Aaron 101 Productions. Welcome back to another video here. Today we're going to be talking about history. History that is currently changing according to what's going on today and what's going on in terms of the future and stuff like that. So politicians want to change our history, and I'm kind of afraid about that, but you know what? I'm kind of afraid with the history I'm already taught, alrighty? Okay, and now what do I say by this? Well, there's a lot of things that have been disproven over the past by new history, new studies, and stuff like that. Some of this stuff is actually not proven to be anything true or accuracy whatsoever. It is only to be taught to us for political agendas and narratives and whatnot. So, I'm kind of afraid that the history is going to change, but I'm also kind of afraid that the history that we know now, whether it's right or wrong, how do we know that? Like, for example, there's only so much you can get out of history. Like, you only go on like points of view, stories, but that's all like biased, because you're only seeing like one person or one perspective of seeing how all the events unfold and stuff like that. So what is it when we're talking about what actually happened? Now, I always like to say this: there's always three sides to every story. There's my side, there's their side, and there's what actually happened. Now, sometimes what actually happened, sometimes we can figure that out, sometimes we can't figure that out. We can only determine what has happened on my side and the other side. Now, how do we know any of this is true? Well, we kind of don't, but we can speculate what happened based on the evidence and substantial evidence that we can pile up against stuff like that. So I'm definitely afraid of the history they're trying to change now, and I'm definitely afraid of the history I already know. And I think one of the things, I can't list an example on top of my head to be honest, but how do we know if anything's right or wrong? How do we know everything we learned before is right or wrong? How do we know that the things people want to change now is right or wrong? Because it was, and stay with me, it was the politicians who demonized weed for so long, and then they finally just decriminalized it a few years ago. But it's crazy how political movements were able to demonize weed for so long when it was proven that it's not actually that bad for you and stuff like that. So it was the politicians who demonized weeds. It was the politician who is now wanting to change history. And it was possibly the politicians who taught us the history that we know now. So how do we know if anything's right or wrong? And talking about school systems, whatnot, there's a lot of things that we are not taught. Now, personally, I think that in schools, we should probably be taught about basic survival skills. Why? Well, why not? I mean, what if you're in a situation where you're in the middle of nowhere and you have no skills to survive? I think this is a very important thing, considering the fact that we're human, but that doesn't mean that we're gods here. Come on, we're just as vulnerable as an animal, right? We need food, we need water, we need shelter. You know, we're not invincible here. So why don't we know these things? You know, stuff like that. So it's kind of an interesting thought process and interesting. How do I say, thought experiment when it comes to things like that. So yeah, it's kind of strange, and why aren't we taught these things? I don't know why. I really can't give you an answer, but it kind of feels like it's very unjust. It kind of feels like it's a very disservice to human society and whatnot, because how do we know if anything's right or wrong, and why don't we know some of the things that we should know? I think a few years ago, in schools, they used to teach like how to teach kids how to change a tire, how to unclog a toilet, how to freaking, I think, cook and stuff like that. Now, so far from what I've experienced in school, they don't really make that mandatory. You can only pick those for your electives, and it's just not as, it's not how I guess, how am I supposed to say this? I'm sorry. I got a brain fart sometimes. It's not what I thought when people were saying this years ago, but I guess it changed. I guess it not changed. But so many things that we should know, we're not being taught by some of these things. One of them is history. One of them is things that we should probably know as a human being, because just because we're human doesn't mean we're invincible here. We have needs. We needed things to take care of, and if we don't know how to take care of these things by ourselves without anyone's assistance, then how do we know that we can keep going on when shit hits the fan? So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Just want to talk about that. Very interesting thought experiment. But oh, shout out to Kevin. Kevin actually has been commenting on all my videos as soon as my videos get uploaded. So I'm actually gonna pin his comment down below. You guys can like his comment, comment on his comment, or just go to his channel. I don't think maybe he has a channel. I don't know. I'll look into it. But definitely check him out. He's really cool. He likes my videos automatically, comments on my videos automatically as soon as my videos come out. So definitely show him some love, and let's see from there. Yeah. Anyways, that'll be all. Thank you so much for watching, and this is Aaron One on Productions, and have a good day.